have I got news for you? I'm Victoria Coren Mitchell. In the news this week, in Wiltshire, on a Cabinet Office day out, the Prime Minister regrets letting Dominic Raab lead the team-building exercise. At a shopping centre in Kettering, Keir Starmer decides now's the time to show off his genital piercing. And in Salonika, one goat farmer meets opposition to his plans to move all the female goats to a different enclosure.
Zapatero, ¿qué opina usted del gobierno de Zapatero?
On Ian's team is a stand-up comedian who is also qualified in forensic science and pathology. So if one of the jokes dies tonight, at least she can tell us what of. Please welcome Ria Lina. And on Paul's team tonight is a political journalist who has recently become a new father. It's hard. They sleep all day, only waking up to scream and demand food. But sometimes they help with the baby. Please welcome Tim Shipman. We begin with the bigger news stories of the week. Ian and Ria, have a look at this.
Right, it's Prime Minister getting the drink in. Cat being questioned by the policeman. Have you been to any parties? No.
Nadine Dorries misunderstanding culture. That's how many rishis it takes to make one normal-sized person.
So this is the government, and I think the main issue is Partygate, which just won't go away. And people keep bringing it up to embarrass the government time after time. Why they do it, you know, I mean, let's move on. Actually, let's not, let's go back. Anyway, the police have issued some fixed penalties. 20.
At the moment, there might be more.
Yeah.
One of them was Helen McNamara. What position did she hold in number 10?
She was head of ethics. I know, it's a brilliant joke and true.
Director General of Propriety and Ethics. And what was she responsible for at a party?
The pizza.
I think she was responsible for the karaoke.
Do you remember karaoke, which turned a simple leaving drinks into a raucous party?
And they're still asking people, do you remember being at the party? And they're like, oh, I can't remember if I was at the party. Why can't you remember where you were at a year ago? I mean, there were so many parties happening at number 10. It must have been like Woodstock. You know what I mean? Like, if you can remember working for Boris Johnson during the pandemic, you really weren't there.
Where does the Director General of Propriety and Ethics now work?
In the Ukraine, is it?
At the Premier League.
Oh.
Yeah. God forbid any corruption would sneak into football.
Honestly, she's on it. I mean, they were all leaving dues, weren't they? That was the problem, is they kept having leaving dues, and they went, oh, but it was a leaving due. We were having a leaving due. Well, then the next day was Prince Philip's funeral, arguably the ultimate leaving due.
Will there be other names leaking out, do you think?
Yes, all the people admitting it are women. And all the men who turned up said, well, we only popped in, and it wasn't very serious. So Mark Sedwell, who was the former Cabinet Secretary, he attended the same party that these people have been fined for, but he wasn't there very long, so, you know.
Do we know if he's got a notice?
He hasn't got a notice, no.
And what about, what's his name? The Prime Minister. Well, why shouldn't we know? I mean, I don't understand why suddenly civil servants who make the rules are immune from being named. I mean, I have lots of friends who the police moved on. You know, a friend who kept sitting down in the park and the policeman said, get up, you're not exercising. And he said, I'm tired.
Do you have lots of friends who are approached by the police in the exercise yard?
Who, do you know, has been leaping to the Prime Minister's defence again this week?
Oh, it must be Jacob Rees-Mogg.
Do you know what he said?
God knows, who cares?
Jacob Rees-Mogg said on LBC, just because he's passed on information that turned out to be incorrect does not mean he's made a deliberate effort to mislead.
What? I mean, we're misled in the sense we're led very badly. But this is what they always say. Genghis Khan, oh, he was terribly badly advised.
There was a great one from Dominic Raab who said that the Prime Minister had been as honest as he could be.
Do you want to see what happened when Maria Caulfield MP tried to make this same point on Question Time? Let's have a look.
But, you know, I mean, he genuinely did not believe that there was wrongdoing that happened.
When people laugh when you say he said he didn't believe he was at a party, I mean, what does that make you think?
Look, I mean, he has, you know,
No, I'm asking you about their response.
I mean, as I've said, I fully understand the anger and the frustration.
That was laughter, that was ridicule. They don't believe him.
But is the Prime Minister under threat? I mean, how's Rishi Sunak doing? Should we have a look at this poll? It was grassroots Tories saying how they felt.
Yeah.
Let's have a look how everyone's doing. Let's find Rishi Sunak. Oh, I can't see him there. He's down and... Oh, there he is. Yeah.
Just above Priti Patel.
So Priti Patel is minus 13.6% amongst voters of her own party. Blimey, that takes some doing.
13? God, that's the number of Ukrainians we've allowed in.
Marks and Spencers are doing quite well, aren't they? 28%.
And it's surely his popularity. I mean, he gave money out in the pandemic. Everyone went, woo, and now he's taken money away and they don't like him. Like, it's not hard to figure out why nobody likes him anymore. You know what I mean? He was just a lockdown fad, all right? Like sourdough, like the Tiger King. Unless he's the Tinder swindler, nobody cares anymore, right? He's the taxer maxer now.
Yeah.
He's the budget fumbler. He's the exchequer fecker. The most he can hope for.
And this was before something else has happened that might be a bit damaging to Rishi Sunak. What's that?
Well, his wife, it turns out, is a non-dom. So whilst living in Downing Street, she is claiming that for tax purposes she lives in India in order to pull the wool over the tax authorities who report to her own husband lying in the bed next to her. That's about the crux of it.
I was very confused by this because I thought non-dom meant that she wasn't sleeping with Dominic Raab. And I thought, what a strange thing to have to say publicly. I got very confused.
What move by the government are people saying is revenge for negative coverage?
Well, that's the reference to the Culture Secretary, who's appeared and said that Channel 4 is being privatised. And I feel, you know, most people in this country at this moment, you know, with fuel bills going up and a war on in the Ukraine, are really saying to themselves, I wish they'd privatised Channel 4. You know, I do, you know, you can say the government's out of touch, but I think that is my #1 concern. So hats off to Nadine Dorries for really going for it in an act of what some might say is petty revenge for her government's treatment on the news. I wouldn't say that. It is. And she's prophetising Channel 4 News.
It's all very odd as well, isn't it? Because Channel 4 is all young people and wall-to-wall sex, drugs and gratuitous nudity. You would have thought Boris Johnson loved it.
It's been a while since I've seen Channel 4 News. That's what it's like. I'm surprised he got time for the weather.
Should we allow Nadine Dorries to explain the sound reasons behind the sell-off? She makes it all very clear. Let's have a look.
I think the future and the longevity of that broadcaster should be brought into question and should be, particularly when it's a receipt of taxpayers' money, it is our responsibility to evaluate whether taxpayers are receiving value for money.
But Channel 4's not like the BBC. It's not in receipt of licence fee money. It makes its money from commercial operations.
And so, although it's, and...
Who else has the government given a job to in order to stick it to the lefty liberals of the media?
Lord Grade, who's become head of Ofcom.
Exactly so. What did Lord Grade admit to on his appointment?
He doesn't have a television.
He doesn't use social media. What about you, Ian? You big on TikTok?
That's the sort of newfangled technology I like.
He's only just got rid of a sundial on his wrist.
Now, what about the curious case of David Warburton MP? What can you tell me about him?
He's been accused of sexual assault. He's also been accused of taking money from dodgy Russians, £100,000, and he's also been accused of something else.
You're what, the taking A-class drugs?
A-class drugs, that's it, cocaine.
But it's a wonderful picture of a baking tray turned upside down with 3 lines on it, and I thought it was baking powder.
Or it could be flour.
It could be flour. Either way, they're both self-raising.
And 3 different women, your paper reported, Tim, have made allegations. Where is it alleged that one of these unwanted advances took place, or after what event?
Oh, God, you're now making me look like I haven't read my own newspaper.
You're in good company, Tim.
Apparently, one of these alleged advances took place after the British Kebab Awards. This is the news that one of the fines for Downing Street parties has been handed out to Helen McNamara, Whitehall's former head of ethics, which is now causing sleepless nights for Whitehall's head of irony. Meanwhile, Tory MP David Warburton has taken attention away from Partygate by snorting cocaine and making unwanted sexual advances to work colleagues. Can I say that? Allegedly.
I love the idea that that works after all these years.
The Mail on Sunday wondered if David Warburton had been set up in a sting operation by a foreign power, asking why would a relatively experienced MP ever pose alongside a significant quantity of Class A drugs in such a way that could not only torpedo his career, but could also see him arrested by police? I don't know. He's an arrogant man with a hard-on.
I do hope the lawyers are looking at this. I'd hate you to have to do Only Connect from HM prison.
This week, the government announced plans to sell off Channel 4. Hearing news of the sell-off, the stars of Countdown were unanimous in their opinion of Boris Johnson, saying he's a consonant, vowel, consonant, consonant. Civil servants have warned that the dribbling out by police of information about who did what when is in danger of turning into a game of Whitehall Cluedo. Boris Johnson in the Cabinet Office with a spanner. Or Matt Hancock, as he was also known. Paul and Tim, take a look at this.
Yeah. OK, there's Boris guaranteeing gas being supplied to people. Just stop us unfolding this sign.
If I take my hat off, my hair is this big.
And that's going to solve our energy crisis. There we go.
I think that's Priti Patel sending someone to Rwanda.
Yeah, even the cow backs away from him.
Would you like to be Chancellor of the Exchequer?
Energy supplies, we're going to build more nuclear reactors. They're going to invest more in wind farms.
A floating wind farm, no less.
Whereabouts?
In the Irish Sea.
The Irish Sea.
obvious place to put a floating wind farm.
Fantastic.
And in the meeting a week or so ago, they said, well, there's a lot of bird life there. And the Prime Minister's answer to this was, can't the birds just fly a bit higher?
He really is a details guy, isn't he?
Didn't they put a moratorium on onshore wind farms in 2015? Which has just meant that we've actually been using more fossil fuels lately, which of course is impacting climate change, which in turn impacts sea levels. So if he just waits long enough, all those onshore wind farms will be offshore wind farms anyway.
Well, he has said, Boris Johnson, that he wants to keep fracking on the table.
As long as it doesn't interfere with dinner.
What does Grant Shapps say about wind turbines?
Don't know.
He says they're an eyesore, but that's OK, because the business secretary, Kwasi Kwarteng, says that they're going to be in Scotland. Grant Shapps said the way to go with this is largely off-sea.
Oh, is that what it means by the floating? Because I think that's crazy. If you want energy security, a floating wind farm that's going to actually disappear the moment the wind comes doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
It'll blow straight towards France as well, won't it? And they'll just impound it. They'll say you can have it back if you take 500 refugees. There's a lot of people in Westminster talking about the untapped sources of energy that we could actually use. And all I can say today is that when Liz Truss heard about Rishi Sunak's tax problems, she had a billion-gigawatt smile. And if we could tap into that, we'd never need any other source of energy ever again.
But she doesn't smile, does she, Liz Truss?
She's a bit like Posh Spice, isn't she? She's always doing a selfie and never smiling.
Yeah.
Of course, there is an urgency in weaning the UK off its, reliance on energy from Russia.
Yes.
And restrictions on imports have been put in place. What is Labour's position on the rationing of gas and electricity?
They were for it. They wanted coupons. They wanted back to 1940. Fuel rationing across the whole country.
Well, they did.
I've made that up.
No, well, here is the Shadow Business Secretary, Jonathan Reynolds, on the BBC's Sunday morning programme.
The Germans, the Austrians, the Dutch, they're talking about plans to potentially ration oil and gas. Should we be preparing to do the same?
We should be making those plans, and the government should be preparing, not necessarily in public, for that situation.
And here is Jonathan Reynolds an hour later on Times Radio.
Should we be rationing our energy?
No, I mean, that would be a disaster for households and businesses.
Oh! Who is this?
Are you doing an impression? Oh, I see, down here. I'm sorry, I got confused.
That is Cameron Ford from Insulate Britain.
Oh, OK.
Let's hear what he's got to say.
My name's Cameron Ford, and I've just been to the Magistrates' Court in Crawley, and I frankly just told them what a waste of time and money it is. That's, I think it's all a bit of a farce. That's why I've not really dressed very appropriately for being in front of a judge. But you need to insulate Britain. That is the top and bottom.
And he's right, there was no insulation in the energy plans announced. But anyway, he's got a very nice tie on. People look more stupid at the Grammys.
We've seen Cameron Ford before.
Have we?
Yes. Do you remember this?
Morning, Mike.
Oh, hello. What are you glued to, Cameron?
Just your screen, unfortunately.
Unfortunately? What do you do for a living, Cameron?
I'm a carpenter.
A carpenter, right. So how safe is that for the climate?
Well, I work with timber, which is a much more sustainable material rather than concrete. I also
But you work with trees that have been cut down then, don't you?
It's a sustainable building practice.
How is it sustainable if you're killing trees?
Because it's regenerative, you can grow trees.
Right. Well, you can grow all sorts of things, can't you?
Well, you can't grow concrete.
Okay. See you, Cameron. Cheerio.
Honestly, that's just ridiculous. Who remembers Pixton Shottle?
Who?
Pixton Shottle.
No.
Let's have a look. There's Pixton.
Yeah.
He was a record-breaking Holstein bull used to sire 100,000 calves. He was so sexually prolific, he featured in Playboy. What? So he was owned by a genetics company called Genus.
Yes.
And that company has now turned its attention to a new cow-related task. They're trying to make cows that produce less methane, because that's a huge problem for the planet.
Yeah.
How did the newspapers describe this development? The Sunday Times said it was good moose.
Oh.
Oh.
The Star went with good moose. And it'd be great to have a funny third one, but no one else covered the story. What has happened to the Isle of Wight's 3 electric chargers?
Oh, yes. They've somebody's hacked into them. I don't really understand how this is. And they started showing pornographic films.
That's it.
You thought I was making it up, didn't you?
The Isle of Wight Council said staff are due to visit the charge points as a matter of urgency. This is the news that in the week that household energy bills doubled, the government immediately leapt into action, promising a radical solution by 2050. According to The Times, the government has proposed to double our onshore wind capacity rather than treble it, as they previously pledged, with the bulk of new turbines in Scotland. Trust me, Prime Minister, now is not the time to rely on energy from a hostile foreign country. One firm is trying to fight global warming by breeding non-flatulent cows. Meanwhile, another company has had the far better idea of developing extra flatulent cows and pointing them at our wind turbines. And on to round 2, it's a welcome return for the Connections game Merely Link. Buzz, will you know what it is?
Oh, yes, Prince Charles and Camilla visited the set of the EastEnders, and, yeah, he said my great-grandmother was the Queen Victoria. I didn't realise up to now that she was actually a pub.
And what did Danny Dyer have to say about the royal visit?
Didn't he find he was descended from George II or something?
William the Conqueror.
Yeah, William.
From, yeah.
I think he said I'm 147,000th in line for the throne.
He did say that, but he also
Did he?
said...
That's one ahead of Prince Andrew.
Danny Dyer described meeting the royal couple as very random, adding, they got mad faces when you're close.
Is that how he talks like that? Does he talk like that? You're doing a lot of impressions tonight, aren't you?
I'm a chameleon.
Yeah.
While we're on the subject of the royals,
Yeah.
what have we heard about a payment of £750,000 into Prince Andrew's bank account?
Well, we've heard that it was a bit dodgy, and it came from a Mr. Turk from Turkey. I mean, we have to be fair. There is a version of events that said he gave this money as a wedding present. And I think most of us have had a £750,000 wedding present. And it's on the list just below placemats from your aunt.
There's a court case going on where a Turkish millionaire has accused Mr. Turk, her former financial advisor, of fraud. She paid the money over to Prince Andrew. She said that Mr. Turk told her she was paying Prince Andrew for helping her get a passport.
Oh, really? Well, that's fine then.
Yeah. The Duke has since returned the money, and there is no suggestion of wrongdoing on his part. First time for everything. And how did Prince Andrew know Mr. Turk? According to the Sunday Telegraph, they were introduced by a convicted Libyan gun smuggler. It's classic Andrew. But this is nice. Coincidentally, what award did Mr. Turk win just a few days before the $750,000 was paid into Prince Andrew's bank account?
Oh, it was one of Prince Andrew's Pitch at the Palace Awards
Yeah.
for entrepreneurship. I hope you're not suggesting there's a link between the two.
No, I'm saying it's a happy coincidence.
It was public vote, and he'd won by like 10,000 votes. Everyone else got a couple hundreds. And his pitch, they said his pitch was clearly not very good. It was for a banking app specifically for millennials. And you go, well, there you go. They don't have any money. Already it's gone bust.
Yeah, his pitch was described as crap, but he won by miles, so there's a suspicion that the automatic bots were voting, that sort of thing. How do you think his pitch was brought to a close, the winning Mr. Turk?
Did Fergie jump out of a cake?
She didn't. It's very regal. Let's have a look.
By putting customer at the heart of the product. Then and now we are creating our technology platform, our banking platform from scratch.
And he won.
Yep.
It's like the Oscars, isn't it, where they cut you off with the music.
And who does it turn out Prince Charles consulted for media advice?
Oh, Jimmy Savile. Who else? He wrote them a PR strategy for the royal family. And Prince Andrew's been following it to the letter.
He did. Jimmy Savile sent a media relations handbook. It was after... Do you know what had happened before that? Prince Andrew had gone to visit the town of Lockerbie after the bombing, and he told residents, I suppose, statistically, something like this has got to happen at some stage. Of course, it only affects the community in a very small way. On a related but somewhat lighter note...
Yes.
Would you like to hear a slip-up that Vernon Kay made on Radio 2?
Yes, please.
Yes.
And I think I was the first one at Hyde Park to run down and wait for him at the front. Amazing, his duet with Jimmy Savile, Jimmy Somerville, apologies. Just blew me away. Absolutely awesome.
Well, it's one of those things you say on live radio knowing that nobody's ever going to hear it again.
Finally, we say goodbye this week to one of the nation's most beloved actors, June Brown, who played Dr. Cotton in EastEnders. Why did her obituary in the Times go viral?
Different June Brown?
It was the same June Brown.
Right.
The obituary said this. June Brown, the actress best known for playing Dot Cotton, the world-weary, Bible-reading, chain-smoking laundrette manager in EastEnders, has died, aged 95. As a child, there was nothing Brown-like better than putting a rabbit in a biscuit tin, gassing it to death and then cutting it up.
And this was before you had social media, isn't it?
This came line from an interview where June Brown had once asked what she'd enjoyed at school, and she'd enjoyed biology and dissection, and it was taken slightly out of context. This week, Charles and Camilla visited the EastEnders set. Charles told the EastEnders cast how much he loves the show. With all the bitter family feuds, sordid secrets and the occasional murder, it's good to get away and watch a bit of telly. Prince Andrew is keen to be part of the Queen's Jubilee celebrations and reportedly hopes to play a part at the Derby. Well, if he wants to get the feminists back on board, he could always throw himself in front of a horse. Fingers on buzzers, teams. Here's the next Merely link. Paul and Tim.
Oh, yes, this is John Travolta, who bizarrely has visited a Morrison's in Norfolk. I mean, I was slightly surprised he was in the UK at all, because I assumed he preferred Greece.
That definitely won't be going out.
You see, but that's you see, I like a high-quality pun. What did the Times say? What was their headline? I know you can do this, Tim.
Saturday night freezer section.
It's... Travolta thrills are multiplying as Star films in Norfolk. Whereas I think the Daily Mail couldn't really be bothered, they went with unexpected superstar in the bagging area.
Is that true? He was in Wetherspoons first?
Yes, well, he visited... He did. He popped into a Wetherspoons. I mean, good luck with your dancing feet on that sticky carpet. He's obviously... He's filming something. He's visiting the local hotspots. Shall we see a description from the security guard at Morrison's, Gary Middleton, about what happened?
Over at Morrison's in Fakenham, Gary, the security guard, didn't quite believe it was him.
I had a quick look and thought, no, that's not John Travolta. So I walked off, met him again, and he put his hand out to me to shake my hand, which was really nice of him. He signed a packet of sausage rolls for a lady.
I think all news should be like this. It'd be brilliant. What do you think John Travolta was buying at Morrison's?
You say buying, but the security guard had to go up to him twice.
Yeah.
You're the one that I want.
Would you like to hear, Ian, from somebody that met him when he was in Wetherspoons?
Yes, I would.
Right, here we go.
Very much.
So I went up and I asked the question, is it John? He was quite humoured by that, and he replied with, it certainly is.
And today, Sue Smith was having lunch in the hottest seat in the house.
I can't quite believe John Travolta's been here and I'm sitting in his chair. Yeah, it's quite special.
And how does it feel?
Well, it feels electrifying.
He also, while he was there, inquired to the manager to see if Morrison's own brand shortbread was in stock.
Oh, don't believe it.
He moved quickly through the freezer aisle as the chills were... No, I'm not reading that. Which other Hollywood star is a fan of shortbread? I mean, why would you know this? It's Nicolas Cage. Here he is. He's been asked what's the inspiration behind an outfit he wore to a recent event. Here it is.
Well, I really like shortbread, and whenever I'm in England, I go get a tin can of shortbread, and I was feeling kind of happy, kind of like I was biting into some shortbread. So tonight I wanted to dress like I was a can of shortbread.
And he's right. I mean, he's wearing the McVitie's tartan there.
He's absolutely terrifying. But what was the downside of this lovely story? It stirred up terrible jealousy in Cambridgeshire.
Oh, did it?
Yes, the website Cambridgeshire Live posted an article listing 27 times A-list celebrities have been spotted in Cambridgeshire, including Lloyd Grossman, Robson Green and Mark Charnock from Emmerdale.
A-list celebrities?
They've all
No,
been
it's
to
just
Cambridgeshire.
a list.
No, yeah,
This is the sighting of Hollywood superstar John Travolta in Norfolk. Norfolk, famous for its turkeys, where he's currently making one. While filming in Norfolk, Scientologist John Travolta visited a Wetherspoons pub, although he ran out 5 minutes later after hearing some of Tim Martin's crazy beliefs. Time now for the odd one out round. Ian and Ria, your 4R. A painting of the Duke of Wellington, some blue overalls, Charles Darwin's diaries, and a robot vacuum cleaner.
OK, Well, I know that the diaries recently, they were missing, and they recently showed up again at a library in Cambridgeshire.
Absolutely. And there's a film out about the stealing of this painting by Goya of the Duke of Wellington. So that was stolen.
Oh.
And then returned.
Is that not a piece of art and someone mistook it for a jacket and, like, wore it or something like that?
It was a piece of art.
It was a piece of art.
And then someone stole it.
Did
But
they steal it or
didn't
just think
return
it was... They didn't return it?
No.
Well, that's a robot vacuum cleaner. It returns all by itself.
Does it?
Yeah, it's amazing. You should go on TikTok. There's like videos of they put like guinea pigs on them and then they zoom around. It's so much fun. You'd lose hours.
On behalf of the nice old lady who accidentally took some blue overalls from the Picasso Museum in Paris, thinking that somebody had left it there, not it was artwork, she did return it. The problem was, having tried it on, she realised they didn't fit, so she had them shortened by a foot.
The vacuum cleaner's the odd one out because it returns itself.
Yeah.
The vacuum cleaner is the odd one out. Very well done. Because...
Nice steal.
I know, yeah.
The vacuum cleaner is the odd one out. It ran away by itself. It wasn't stolen. Why did it run away, this vacuum cleaner?
Well, it's sought new adventures.
It was working at a travel lodge in Cambridge.
It was working, was it? This is a 0 hours contract.
According to an employee, normally what happens is the vacuum cleaner knows when it's got to the edge of the hotel door.
And comes back.
And turns around. But this one didn't. This one decided to make a run for it. It was found under a hedge in the car park on Friday. But it's not the first time it had happened. According to the whole Daily Mail, one vacuum that was working at Gatwick Airport took a wrong turn and ended up in Spain. Now, what about this portrait of the Duke of Wellington? How did it go missing? What is that story?
I believe it was stolen by a pensioner. I can't remember his name.
Kempton Bunton.
Kempton Bunton, this old age pensioner, a very famous case in the 60s, and he stole it as a protest against pensioners having to pay a licence fee for the BBC. So he was ahead of his time.
In other art-based news,
yes.
How did a bored security guard attempt to improve the painting Three Figures by the artist Anna Leporskaya?
Oh, he must have painted faces on them.
The local man said he was confused and depressed by the art and decided to add some eyes.
That looks a bit like me.
It is an improvement. They've all been stolen, apart from a robot vacuum cleaner, which went missing of its own accord. There's a new film detailing the life of Kempton Bunton, who stole a portrait of the Duke of Wellington and hid it in his bedroom wardrobe. It's been very well received, except by Prince Andrew, who panicked when he heard a film had been made about a duke hiding in a bedroom wardrobe. Paul and Tim, your four are Justin Bieber, inventor of the top hat John Hetherington, footballer Calvin Phillips, and Matt Hancock.
Only one of them needs a T-shirt to remind himself who he is.
Yes. And that's why people keep walking all over him. We don't know why.
If this is thin...
I'm sorry if you feel you're not getting your money's worth.
Justin Bieber was seen at the Grammys wearing a suit that didn't fit. Very, very, very big jacket and huge trousers.
It was a custom-made Balenciaga outfit, I should just say.
Oh, is it? Really? Did they get the measurements wrong?
Yeah.
People didn't like this outfit. Someone wore the first top hat. Someone said, oh, take it off. You look like Jacob Rees-Mogg.
Didn't top hats scare people when they first had them?
No, according to the Huddersfield Chronicle of 1797...
Oh, I remember getting it.
On seeing the hat, dogs yelped and several women fainted.
Where did they put the hat?
So what's the other one out?
Oh, there's Calvin Phillips as well. Didn't he wear something stupid recently? Enormous pair of shoes, I think. Oh, they're the shoes.
Oh, blimey.
Do you want a pair of those shoes, Ian? Very fashionable.
No, people will think they're pasties. Come and steal them from me.
Yeah.
I'm sure they're nice, but at least take them out of the bag first. They have all caused a fashion sensation, apart from Matt Hancock, who was deemed to be sensationally unfashionable. Here's Matt Hancock's outfit that got him into trouble. Someone on Twitter said he looked like the new corrupt member of AC-12 who gets bumped off in episode 3. Matt Hancock wore this outfit to go on a podcast, Diary of a CEO.
They spelt that wrong.
Do you want to see him squirming about in the turtleneck?
Yeah.
Here he is.
You just start this section again.
How would you like to start it?
I don't mind all of it except the opening bit about casual sex.
Okay, fine.
I haven't had casual sex with anybody.
Okay.
I fell in love with somebody.
Myself.
The thing about it is it makes it so much worse for his poor wife. You know, it's bad enough that he just dumped a minute and left, and there were pictures of him just groping and fiddling in his office.
That was another impression, did you see that?
I don't think it's the turtleneck that's the problem.
I do like the phrase casual sex, though, and he objected to it, because obviously what he wants to have is more formal sex.
In a top hat?
Yeah.
Yeah, knock that off, lady.
Do you know when John Hetherington invented the top hat?
Yes, 1782.
1797.
Well, yeah, but it didn't work at first.
According to the Huddersfield Chronicle of 1797, when John Hetherington wore London's first ever top hat, several women fainted. A female reaction not repeated in this country until that time Ian Hislop undid his top button at the Cheltenham Literary Festival. Time now for the Missing Words round, which this week features as its guest publication the newsletter of the Shropshire Mammal Society. And we start with German scientists discover that fish can what?
German scientists discovered that fish can sign legal documents. Add up.
Yes, German scientists discover that fish can do maths. According to new research, fish can do basic addition and subtraction using the numbers 1 to 5, or, as the Daily Star described it to their readers, tricky sums.
In terms of evolution, why is it important that fish can add up?
It's not so much that they need to add and subtract, it's that they think they might be able to recognize patterns on the sides of other fish and go, oh, no, that one's Dave. Dave has 3 spots, and that one's, you know, Brenda. Brenda has 4. That's what they think it is. It's so they can tell Dave and Brenda apart. Otherwise, that's an awkward party.
It's like that old joke about 2 goldfish going around in a little, you know, glass bowl, and somebody says, well, the one in front's called Bob. They said, how do you know that? He said, well, the one behind keeps going,
Next, workmen damage rare dinosaur footprints while what?
While mucking about, having a laugh.
The opposite.
Not having a laugh.
Working hard.
Not mucking about. Working too hard.
Yes, but I know Ria said that first. I'm going to give it to you for working hard. It's specifically workmen damage rare dinosaur footprints while constructing walkway to view rare dinosaur footprints. Next, T-Rexes had small arms to prevent them what?
Scratching their bums.
T-Rex had small arms to prevent them playing Kaplunk. To prevent them fighting amongst themselves.
To prevent them hugging Diplodocus.
Oh. No, it's closer to fighting. T-Rexes had small arms to prevent them getting bitten off in feeding frenzies.
Wow.
Scientists believe that longer arms would have been in danger of getting in the way and being eaten during a feeding frenzy. We've all been there when someone's taken the lid off a KFC bucket. Describing the new interpretation of the T-Rex's short arms, one scientist stated, "We've been looking the wrong way through the telescope of evolution." No wonder the arms look small. Next, sweaty goats smell nicer than what, say Oxford scientists?
Cambridge scientists. There's a tense rivalry between the two.
Yeah, it's the goat race.
Yeah. That was an interesting reaction. Started off as a groan. They thought about it. Thought, no, they deserve a clap.
This is green peppers.
What peppers? Some people have got too much time in their hands, haven't they?
This was an important scientific study. Scientists from the University of Oxford have ranked scents to see which people like the most. The world's top scents are vanilla, peaches, lavender, cloves. Although the ranking is different among COVID sufferers, who identified them as nothing, nothing, some coffee, and nothing. Next, Andy is so fond of his badgers, he treats them to what?
To guided tours around Hugh Edwards.
Non-dom tax status.
Andy is so fond of his badgers, he treats them to premium peanuts. This is from the Shropshire Mammal Society newsletter. According to this article, badger fan Andy thinks so much of his badgers that he gives them peanuts. Crunchy or smooth, all depends on the kind of car that's run over them. I said you'd groan. I said they'll groan, and then they'll groan with disapproval.
Whereas if you'd had an audience full of hedgehogs, they'd have gone, yeah, bloody badgers. Run them over.
Is that how a hedgehog speak, is it? Yeah. Bloody badgers, run them over. I don't give a Oh, my back then off, Spikey.
Next, twitchers angered by claim that British birds, what?
I know this story, I read this, that the British birds are dull.
Dull?
Someone said that British birds are dull and they're sort of boring, they don't do anything, they don't go anywhere.
You're right, Ian. Twitchers angered by claim that British birds are boring.
There's an apocryphal story that I can't believe it ever happened, but on the BBC in the 1940s, an irate listener wrote into the BBC and said, the BBC radio, of course, at the time, and said, I was astonished and really, really completely disgusted to hear the phrase great tits like coconuts on the radio. And he said if you'd listened further, you'd all just found out they like bacon rind. So I don't...
Mine are increasingly like bacon rind. I don't know about you. Next. As a fully paid-up member of Shropshire Mammal Society, you're entitled to what?
You're entitled to a free weasel pushed through your letterbox.
I'm going to give you the point.
Really?
As a fully paid-up member of Shropshire Mammal Society, you are entitled to view Rick's webinar, An Introduction to Identification of Bone Remains from the Pellets of British Owls, for free.
That's exactly the same as a free weasel for your letterbox.
And if you want to find it online, it's on a website titled The End of the Internet. So, looking at the final scores, Ian and Ria have 6, Paul and Tim are the winners with 8.
No. Well done.
Before we go, there's just time for the caption competition.
School for retired air hostesses open in Blackpool.
Next.
Oh, bloody Joanna Lumley, she's in everything.
On which note, we say thank you to our panellists, Ian Hislop and Ria Lina, Paul Merton and Tim Shipman. And I leave you with news that in a Westminster tea room, Theresa May wonders for the first time if she is perhaps not the most boring person in the conversation. As Downing Street's chief of staff assures the public that the culture of drinking and excessive socialising is now a thing of the past, civil servants arrive for Friday afternoon's final meeting. And at a police station in Karachi, an old lady realises it could have been any of the men in the identity parade who stole her pet budgie.
Wired hearts and neon dreams, love's a circuit bursting seams. In the city of the lost, find connection at any cost. Glowing screens light up our night, whisper soft in pixels light. Electric pulses start to pound in the chaos we are found. Electric hearts in tangled lines, sparks ignite beneath the signs. Love's a code, a random glitch, yet I feel such a powerful twitch. Light speeds chase the tails we...
There's a tense rivalry between the two.
Yeah, it's the goat race.
Yeah. That was an interesting reaction. Started off as a groan. They thought about it. Thought, no, they deserve a clap.
This is green peppers.
What peppers? Some people have got too much time in their hands, haven't they?
This was an important scientific study. Scientists from the University of Oxford have ranked scents to see which people like the most. The world's top scents are vanilla, peaches, lavender, cloves. Although the ranking is different among COVID sufferers, who identified them as nothing, nothing, some coffee, and nothing. Next, Andy is so fond of his badgers, he treats them to what?
To guided tours around Hugh Edwards.
Non-dom tax status.
Andy is so fond of his badgers, he treats them to premium peanuts. This is from the Shropshire Mammal Society newsletter. According to this article, badger fan Andy thinks so much of his badgers that he gives them peanuts. Crunchy or smooth, all depends on the kind of car that's run over them. I said you'd groan. I said they'll groan, and then they'll groan with disapproval.
Whereas if you'd had an audience full of hedgehogs, they'd have gone, yeah, bloody badgers. Run them over.
Is that how a hedgehog speak, is it? Yeah. Bloody badgers, run them over. I don't give a Oh, my back to off, Spiky.
Next, twitchers angered by claim that British birds, what?
I know this story, I read this, that the British birds are dull.
Dull?
Someone said that British birds are dull and they're sort of boring, they don't do anything, they don't go anywhere.
You're right, Ian. Twitchers angered by claim that British birds are boring.
There's an apocryphal story that I can't believe it ever happened, but on the BBC in the 1940s, an irate listener wrote into the BBC and said, the BBC radio, of course, at the time, and said, I was astonished and really, really completely disgusted to hear the phrase great tits like coconuts on the radio. And he said if you'd listened further, you'd also found out they like bacon rind. So I don't...
Mine are increasingly like bacon rind. I don't know about you. Next, as a fully paid-up member of Shropshire Mammal Society, you're entitled to what?
You're entitled to a free weasel pushed through your letterbox.
I'm going to give you the point.
Really?
As a fully paid-up member of Shropshire Mammal Society, you are entitled to view Rick's webinar, An Introduction to Identification of Bone Remains from the Pellets of British Owls, for free.
That's exactly the same as a free weasel for your letterbox.
And if you want to find it online, it's on a website titled The End of the Internet. So, looking at the final scores, Ian and Ria have 6, Paul and Tim are the winners with 8.
No. Well done.
Before we go, there's just time for the caption competition.
School for retired air hostesses open in Blackpool.
Next.
Oh, bloody Joanna Lumley, she's in everything.
On which note, we say thank you to our panellists, Ian Hislop and Ria Lina, Paul Merton and Tim Shipman. And I leave you with news that in a Westminster tea room, Theresa May wonders for the first time if she is perhaps not the most boring person in the conversation. As Downing Street's chief of staff assures the public that the culture of drinking and excessive socialising is now a thing of the past, civil servants arrive for Friday afternoon's final meeting. And at a police station in Karachi, an old lady realises it could have been any of the men in the identity parade who stole her pet budgie.